So the question beckons, what's lurking in your basement? Okay, as you take these steps down, there could be some things down there that might concern you. So let's take a look at these. Okay, typical occurrences which cause mold to grow, especially in deep, dark basements. Here they go: flooding, plumbing, moisture diffusion, excessive humidity. Trust in this. Mold will never grow in floods, in hurricanes. It needs to start drying out and creating excessive humidity. That's what it wants. This key-in says this: moisture control is the key to mold control. Okay, high RH or relative humidity in deep, dark basements is one factor of concern. The other factor is high dew points. So that's the temperature at which air is saturated. Questions are, where are they lurking and why? Let's take a look at this graphic. See how these circles that come in there? They talk about the dew point and capillary action. And moisture diffusion too can work a little. But those two, and that is what you have to be aware of. And that's how the flow occurs in a basement. Remember, if the foundation wall in the basement gets at or below the dew point and moisture is there, all it needs is carbon and mold will start growing. Hence, basement walls and the summer effect. Utilities can create problems as well. Let's take a look at this. That orange instrument is called a hygrometer. It's set in the AH mode, which derives dew points, and that says 60. The temperature gun in my hand shows 58 degrees. Now look at that well tank there. See what's going on? This is what this is why this is happening, the excessive condensation coalescence. Any surface at or below the dew point will condensate, coalesce. Well, look at that well tank. Look at the water. Now look at that drywall, which is perfect food for mold. What do you think is going on there? And as I told my client, I said, ma'am, this is what we can see. What about the areas in your basement we cannot see? She got a little worried at that point. They're not so bad, crawl spaces. In this industry, there's a lot of buts, so let's take a look at the first one. Here it is. Well, not so bad crawl space, not so fast. There's no vapor barrier and there's mold growing there. Don't worry about the mold growing on those piers. Look at what's going on here. What in the world is happening? So what I'm going to do is pull up my pointer on this to make it a little bit easier. You can see microbial growth is occurring right here because people put the insulation in backward. The paper side is supposed to be to the warm side. That's upward, okay? So let's think about something. Right here is the return duct. Now, these cleats that combine these joints are not airtight. The return side is always running under negative pressure, meaning air gets sucked in. So what are the chances of this growth and mold spores coming off there getting sucked in right there? What do you think? Preventing. Again, moisture control is the key to mold control. That's simple. No moisture, no mold. First one, keep humidity levels in the house below 50% and 35% in winter. Next one up. In basements and crawl spaces, try to realistically keep it below 40%. Use the AC and a mechanical dehumidifier during humid months, especially in basements, along with circulating fans on low. And we're going to show you how that works. Here it is. Okay, in this graphic, take a look at what's going on in the center. That's a dehumidifier, mechanical dehumidifier, centrally located. Okay? In each corner, you see these 20-inch box fans pointing in the same direction. Look, it can go clockwise or counterclockwise. That doesn't matter. What matters is getting the dehumidifier in the basement. I know this graphic shows not a common basement for everybody, but let's look at this. The purpose of the fans on low is to chase the moisture off the walls in the basement So those ellipses represent the moisture moving toward the dehumidifier, and that orange arrow is the warm air coming out of it, removing the moisture. Simply put, keep the fans on low, leave the system run 24/7. In this climate zone, which by the way is climate zone 5, there's 7 climate zones if you didn't know that. Start them in May, shut them off in October. Remember, your AC system is a very limited dehumidifier. It needs help in the basement. Venting. Do not put carpet in basements directly over concrete floor slabs. Why? Well, I'll tell you what can happen. If you put that in there and you let relative humidity hit, say, 70, 75%, mold's going to grow. If it drops down to, say, 60%, dust mites are going to come in. So the question is, which do you want? I know what you're saying, neither. Hey, continuing, crawl spaces should now be conditioned and have vapor barriers installed on exposed earth and graveled areas. Concrete slurry coat is the best, but you got to make sure that under that concrete slurry coat there is a 6 mil plastic vapor barrier. Do not store cellulose or paper products in crawl spaces. Store in plastic totes with tight covers. Elevate stored wood and cardboard boxes off concrete floors. The reason for that is there's higher relative humidity between that material and the concrete floor. And if it gets damp enough, that's mold's favorite food, cellulose, anything derived from a tree all the way down to paper. Again, moisture control is the key to mold control. Something else. Keeping debris, dirt, and dust to a minimum helps eliminate mold food. Anything that is carbon-based can serve as mold food. And closing. If you see this, an active colony of mold growth in a basement corner where high dew points occur, well, think about what you just learned and call us if you're concerned. Thank you. Kevin Kyler with Environmental Inspection Dynamics.